Hey everyone, it's Marie here, welcome back to my channel, and I'm popping in today with a very quick process video for you using one of our new Peartree files from the June Pearscriptions at Peartree Cutfiles. So this one is called Adventure. As you can see, it's just a really big title. I first of all have cut it out in white, and then I've cut it again exactly the same size, having removed most of the internal contour lines. So I use a Cricut, and on a Cricut down in the bottom right hand corner you can click on a button that says contour and you can choose which cut lines to remove. So I removed the inner letter ones so that it still cut to the very inside of the shapes, like the inside of the R and the inside of the D and the A. And it cut round all the letters, but it didn't cut the individual ones out, because I wanted to just back the whole thing, and because this paper's stripy that I've chosen to use, I'm using the Pinkfresh Studio, I think it's called Out and About. It's from a few years ago now. I may have been hoarding it. Decided to finally get using it. I love this rainbow paper. I'm really into my rainbows at the moment. No mixed media on this layout though. So I decided to use that. So because of the stripes that I wanted to use, I was very aware that if I didn't line them up properly, it could look really wonky. So I just decided to use my Cricut to cut that out. I've stuck the cut file down onto the rainbow paper, just at a slight angle, a slight offset, sorry, because I decided that I wanted that appearance of a bit of a shadow behind, rather than mounting it dead straight, just having that little bit of a shadow. So I'm documenting photographs today of my son Elliot heading off on his very first residential night away from home with school. And these were photographs taken on the morning he was going. He had sleeping bag in one hand, pillow in the other, massive bag on his back that you can't quite see in the photographs, but he had so much, like for one night, how does one child need so much stuff? But yeah, he went off with a massive smile on his face, and I was so proud because it started off the week that we weren't going. He had lots of worries in his head, and he was very, very worried about going. But in the end, his teacher was amazing, talked to him about what was happening, what he could expect, what all the activities were going to be, and he calmed right down and went and had a wonderful time. He was exhausted when he came back, almost fell asleep in the car on the way home. But yeah, had a brilliant time. So just had to document these photographs. And I think this might be the quickest I've ever documented photographs, actually scrapped them, because this happened on the Thursday. I think I was scrapping this layout on the Friday, so quite impressed with myself. So I've just put the title down there, so Adventure, and then I've put Austerfield, which is where he went. The Austerfield Field Study Centre is where he went, and they actually camped out. And you've seen me there just prop up my cut file on some adhesive foam. And now I'm just looking at what I'm going to do with these photographs, whether I'm going to mount them onto different colours. I'm in and ahhing. I like the red, but there's a lot of rainbow on there, and I don't want to go too mad. So I've decided to stick to sort of a greeny themed embellishments and backing for my photographs, this bluey green here. And then lots of greeny bits and pieces, rather than putting that red in there. That does it just didn't quite feel right, so I decided to pop that back out again and swap over what I was doing. So I'm going to tuck one photograph just behind that little map there, and then I'm going to tuck another one just behind the other photograph at the top behind the V. So just using a different piece of cardstock now, a different pattern. I think it's got a map on it, this one. Just using a bit of an offcut from a previous layout I'd made with this collection, and just sticking that one down. Like I said, this one was a really quick layout to come together. It really didn't take very long at all. Some of my layouts I can deliberate over for hours and hours and hours, but I didn't with this one. So yeah, quite a quick one. So just going to tuck those two photographs in at the top there. You could, if you wanted, with this cut file, quite easily fit at least 4 photographs on. You could put, where I've got the 2 at the top right, you could easily have 2 at the bottom left. And that would balance the cut file up really nicely as well. But I've decided to kind of sit it off to the left and just have 2 photographs to the right. You could as well, if you're a digital customer, you could cut this cut file a lot smaller than I've done. I wanted it big. I wanted it to be the largest element on the page. Sometimes I like my cut files to be quite subtle, and to sort of just merge in with what's already on the page, but this one I really did want to be front and centre. So I'm just picking through the bits of ephemera that I've got. I've got the cardstock stickers, I've got the puffy stickers, and I think, yeah, I've got that ephemera pack as well, which I'm really quite, oh, I must have opened it before. I've started opening my ephemera packs in a different way. I like to cut the edge off now. I find if you open them using a sticky end, when you're trying to get things in and out, you end up getting this ephemera stuck to the sticky bit. So I just slice the edge off now, and I find that works a lot better. So lots of deliberations on what ephemera to use here. I want to kind of cluster some around the photographs. I want to cluster a little bit around that compass at the bottom as well. But equally, I don't want too much on there because the page is already quite full. So just sticking down a few elements that I have decided, yep, they're definitely going on there. And then I liked that little epic sticker as well, that circular sticker. The circle, I'm not a fan of circles, I find them really hard to use, but because there's a circular compass on the page, the circles to me didn't look out of place. Cutting that tab in half so I can use another half on a different layout rather than just tucking it under the photograph and losing it all. I know my title is already adventure, but I loved the way that word adventure just looked in the middle of the cut file. And then just a few more bits going to get stuck around that compass. Getaway stuck on that top photograph. And just a few bits. I am going to end up using the other half of that sticker just to give a little cluster at that bottom edge as well. Just balance the page up really nicely. So going back through my ephemera again, I knew there was something missing. I knew it wasn't quite finished. Didn't quite know what I wanted to do. I do pop that little red fun on there. There's one little pop of red to break up the green. And I do wonder about that red one, but it just didn't quite look right, so that went to one side. And then I decided that I wanted to do just a bit of something to ground it. It felt a little bit like the whole lot was floating. So I've taken the piece of cardstock that I've used to cut the cut file out from and literally just cut a strip off it. So all I'm going to do is pop a little bit of glue down the edge of the page, not tape, because you can obviously reposition glue as it's drying, but you can't reposition tape, and it needed to be straight. And I love the way that looked. It was just perfect. And then I got some little puffy alphas from one of the more recent Pinkfresh collections, just to write the word to, because I didn't want it to be just a adventure Osterfield that didn't seem quite right. Then a few pencil lines, and I'm going to add some journaling on here all about how proud I am of him and how well he did to go away on his own. I kind of flip between adding lots of journaling onto things and adding none. The last few layouts I've done, I've wanted to add quite a bit of journaling too, because it just felt right. I've wanted to add that detail on so I remember those things later. Don't always have to. Some, for me, it's enough to just have the photograph, but I really wanted to put some journaling on here. Pulling out these are Paul Rubens watercolours. These are all metallic. I realise you probably can't see that they are metallic. I just wanted a few very gentle splatters. I didn't want to go crazy, but I just wanted a few splatters around where my clusters were. And that's it. That's my layout just about finished. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. I hope this layout has inspired you. Like I said, a really simple one, came together really easily. I love that rainbow appearance, and here comes some close-ups. Again, thanks for joining me. Please do consider giving this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribing to my channel if you don't already. And I will see you again soon in the next one. Bye for now.